Hello and welcome to this session 3 of Undying Plague Empire. We have some of our usual suspects with us today, with Asher and who has been a vampire with me before, and then we have Tina, who I played with a lot, but it's been a while now, I think, actually.
Yeah.
And who's going to be playing with us for the last 2 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So nice to have you here again.
Yeah.
Last time we saw the culmination of our 2-session conflict with the big showdown between the Princeps Augustus and Patrician Rufus, who battled for power. Rufus tried to backstab Augustus with the help of our lovely player character Spuria, who came with some grim predictions for Augustus' future. However, it all ended up with Rufus getting killed. So I guess that didn't end so well for him. Such is the way of the vampires. And there was again a balance of power within the vampire community of Rome. So for our next piece of action will be 250 years later in year 410 for the sack of Rome, pretty much. So the historical context is that well, last time we were when Rome was at its peak, pretty much. Since then, they've had some less some hard-won victories and also some defeats along the north. And Alaric, who is the person mentioned in the Jim's email.
My email address, yes.
Yeah. He actually was in the Roman force, helping them defeating.
He was pissed off that he didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And then he just decided to take it to the top, and there was no top, so he decided.
Yeah.
To just take it.
Yeah. So and now he and 20,000 what are they called? Vandals. Visigoths. Yeah, Visigoths. We almost are at the doors of Rome. Of course, in this alternative reality, there's vampire politics involved. So, like every good vampire game. So that's the context of our game. So for character creation, it might be a little useful, at least, to know like what historical period and what's going on. Yeah, so I was very smart and had my page up on the character creation page, but then I turned the page. So, have you had a chance to look at the playbooks?
Yes, I think I decided on the Puppet Master.
Yes, we almost got the Puppet Master last time, but we got the. We didn't in the end. We got the Sibyllus or a Seer instead, so that's a good fit. Cool. So you can now. The next thing you can choose is then to. I have assigned you a character. No, well, actually, let's see. Maybe I didn't have. Because you weren't. I'm gonna assign you a character sheet. And there you go. Now you should be able to see a character sheet in Roll20. Hopefully.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Good. So the first thing you'll choose is what your character status is. So pretty much that is everything in vampire society is very like status based. It's like a social hierarchy that's very, yeah, good basis of scheming. So you can either be a pariah or a plebeian. So either someone who's pretty much, unwanted, a person non grata, or someone who's on the bottom of the hierarchy, but at least has their hunting grounds with a plebeian.
I think I'm taking the plebeian, which would be. I'm not sure how the pariah would fit with a puppet master, so I'm
Yeah, that seems
higher one.
And I've only read the rules a bit, but you cannot really utilize the bargain move with a pariah, because the alternative, if you don't come through on the bargain, is you lose status, and since a pariah has no status to lose, that's not a threat for them. So you can't really bargain with a pariah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's hard to bargain with someone who hasn't anything to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
So the next thing is to choose your humanity. So pretty much that is how well you or how much the vampire has been able to cling to their humanity. You can either choose human, callous, or monstrous. I would recommend maybe not going straight to monstrous, because you might get there anyway. Depending on well, we did find out of this two last session that you actually have to be quite monstrous to get to monstrous.
Okay.
As Paul's character actually didn't get there by coercing, mind controlling a sister to killing her brother. So I guess you can be pretty monstrous without.
Well, I think depending on how humane I am, I have more options from some moves, right?
Yes, if you're more humane, you have more options in
feeding.
Yeah, also feeding, it has less consequences. Also, you have more options when it comes to captivating humans.
Well, I think I'm.
The downside is you have less blood to use on these moves.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think I'm going with callous for now.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we can have our other characters introduced. So because the next thing we'll do is to do some relationship stuff with depths. So it would be a good opportunity to also let's start with Spuria. Who is Spuria? Sure.
All right, so Spuria is the what were we saying? Pariah out of the edge of society. So I think she's more of like a vagrant. And she's the Sibyl, so she can like predict the future. Right? She has these like predictive gifts. So ultimately, I want to become like the King Seer somehow. Get to Augustus and work for him, and then I go up in social class. So that's an easy way for me to improve. And then I'm made by Rufus, who was killed last session.
Yeah.
And I think right now, I guess this is actually like my enemy. So that'll be difficult.
Yeah. That didn't go exactly as planned.
Did you say Rufus is your enemy? Rufus is dead.
No, Augustus.
Rufus is dead.
But he was your maker.
Right.
And that was Paul, I assume. No,
he's still alive. He'll be back.
Okay.
It was an NPC.
Okay.
So and then we have also Jacobus. Can you
So do you
present?
want me to introduce myself or just talk about?
Yes.
Because you were just talking about enmities and rivalries, because I supported Augustus in holding on to his position, partially because I wanted to punish Spurius for poaching on my grounds, and that's where I figured out the whole thing that you can't do a bargain with someone who's a pariah, because I wanted to do a bargain on him and for poaching on my grounds, and I couldn't. So Augustus, excuse me, Jacobus is old Roman stock. Hardy, plebe, never made it into the patrician class, but this is sort of the salt of the earth from the republic, the days of the republic. At least he was, and he was a centurion, which is a whole class of army officers. One of the lower level centurions. He didn't actually command a force of 100, and he is a nightmare, which supposedly, should he have enough blood, will allow him to call on the dark powers to do something. But he's never had enough blood to do that. But he also has blood slaves. He started with 2. Killed one in a frenzy, or actually he killed one to avoid going into a frenzy, but kind of the same thing during this climatic moment where there was where the Rufus coup was averted, and he has a secret which would he still has. And no one really knows about it except Augustus, which is fine because we're pretty tight. Since I saved his life, he owes me a major debt, and as a result, I got to be moved from the very edge of feeding grounds, which was at the city gates, to I think it was into Region 2, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes, you have both now, actually.
Oh, I get both. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna stamp my Jacobus on my 2 feeding grounds. That's great that I have 2 feeding grounds. Yum yum. And yeah, so he's an up and coming vampire, looking to solidify his base. Kind of already took out Rufus, so the other sort of sublord in this what do we call this kind of collective of vampire, this group of vampires? It's a pod or a community or
a court, maybe.
Okay, and the court is Claudia, who's made almost everyone that Augustus or Rufus hasn't made or has made the maker of. I'm pretty sure. And is there anything else you'd like me to mention about Jacobus?
Seems good to me. I'm just adding the things I forgot, because I saw saved. You saved Augustus' life, so he owes you a major debt.
Right, and I should remember who it was made by. It was made by Horatius.
Yes. I think, yeah.
Who hasn't done much.
Yeah, he has moved up in the world now, though.
Okay, so are people going to be moving up? That'll be that off-screen move stuff, right?
Yes.
Ooh, I can't wait to see what happens.
He is now a patrician. Okay. So, yeah, like a super short introduction to the NPC series. Priscus, who we also haven't seen much, he's actually been like involved in the army of Rome in the last few years, and was seen as a rival to Rufus, but it's unclear what his plans are now. Horatius is now the patrician that rose up into where Rufus's place were.
I see.
And is the maker of Jacobus, and then we have Claudia, who's also important, which is the yeah, she's a little bit of a puppeteer. It seems she doesn't get hurt by much things happening, but it seems to have something to do with everything that's going on. And then we have Tullus, who is the maker of Sergius, who is Paul's character, who's also someone we have seen a little bit on screen. He used to be bound to Lucius, but he's now dead, killed by another character that we had going on. So he's also dead. So people die, vampires die. That's the moral of it, I guess. So what you do now is that of one of these characters you owe a major debt to. So a major debt is a pretty like big thing. You can see here on what this. For example, we have someone. It's a lot of saving of lives here. People saved someone's life or stopped someone from killing someone. Like it's that kind of size of a debt. So pretty much in vampire society, everyone is connected to the society somehow. So you always and it's a kind of currency you can use to get people to do the things you want. So you can choose any of the character NPCs as well, on all or the characters whoever you choose.
Okay.
To owe a debt to. And what do you have a character name, by the way?
Oh yeah, I have Aurelia. Aurelia.
Aurelia. Yes. Jan.
Aurelia.
Aurelia. Good.
Where am I? Oh. Ah, yes. Where am I putting it? I don't know.
I'm gonna make Aurelia.
Okay.
For you up there, I'm not gonna.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So, what kind of debts do the others have, just for inspiration?
For example, Spuria owes Tullius a major debt for letting her feed on his hunting ground, which is an ongoing thing since it's a big debt. And then we have Jacobus save Augustus' life. We can see on the other ones, if you look at the relationship map, you see here made a proper introduction to Augustus is a major one. Didn't brand him as a heretic. And there's a dirty secret as well as a major one. So, yeah, big stuff usually. But it can be, I mean, it's subject. Oh, Tina left. Well, that's that explanation.
I guess the burden of debt was too great.
Yeah. Oh, my explanation was so bad that she's just like, no.
Right. And we both know it was tech problems, but
Oh well.
So we'll start this time with downtime. Is that how it works?
We did have downtime.
Sorry. I'm back.
Where did you? Where in the explanation did you leave me?
The last thing I heard was, oh, I don't remember. Just a few seconds.
So usually a big debt is something that is attached to your survival in a way, like either directly or indirectly. So maybe someone could have it doesn't have to be like saved your life or stopped someone from killing you. It could also be something like didn't share my secret with so and so when he could have at the point, for example, something like that.
Okay, I guess it can't be someone who's dead.
Nah, that would be too easy.
Yeah. Huh. Let's see. We have Jacobus.
I owe a major debt to my parents, but they're not going to be able to collect because.
Don't we all?
Let's see. Keeping secret. I think it would be nice if I owe a debt to someone who helped me get into this position I'm in this enterprise I'm having.
What enterprise is that? Tell me more.
That's the question. I'm not entirely sure what kind of enterprises were usual during those times. I guess one thing I know is that there were these kinds of not really police, more like fire protection.
Yes.
People.
I have a name for them somewhere. Give me a second and I'll find it. Let's see. They are called so and so. Let's see. Here they are. Vigils.
Vigils.
Okay.
That would be nice, except I'm not sure how. It doesn't have to be really a commercial enterprise, I guess.
No. It could be pretty much anything. I mean, a human, and also it doesn't have to be historically correct. So we're not playing a history simulator, so it's not.
So
don't worry about that.
I guess then that's my enterprise. And I've already circled some assets in liabilities too.
Cool. So you're involved with the vigils.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe. Let's maybe put you on the, because it seems like almost everyone is connected to one side of the relationship. Let's make it be Priscus. He's also like a. So he what did he do exactly to get you in this position?
I'm just looking for him.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, on the way to the left. I guess. Well, I guess he. He probably somehow got me the job by bribing someone.
I mean, they are vampires, so maybe he got you the job by killing someone.
Oh yes, the person who used to have my job, I guess. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah.
Priscus got me my position by killing my predecessor.
Yeah, and I think that is probably a vampire. You haven't seen them on screen because it's been a few hundred years, so that's fine.
Okay.
Come and go. Wine.
What about 0.5? Each player exchanges debt. How does that work?
No,
I only have one debt for an NPC right now.
Yeah, you can. You also have a declare which predator owes you a minor debt. So that's a good way. Maybe it's a good to have it be to one of the player characters, so you're a bit involved with each other.
Okay. A minor debt too. I guess.
And that could be like a small thing, just like I did something for you, like I got you something, or I got you some. I did something small, but like transactional for you, and You didn't pay me yet.
Is either of you somehow in any kind of business? Like, does anyone of you own a building, perhaps?
Sergius does, actually. He owns a bath. But he's not here for this session.
I mean, we kind of own, everything in our hunting grounds.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, not in, since the Romans were all about like, law and shit, it's not like legally, but I'm actually in charge of what happens in my hunting grounds.
Yeah, you're also a pretty influential undead now, I think. I mean, it's your. I mean, it's the gates is among the things you control.
Right.
So it's probably like a lot of trade and stuff.
Sure, and if I've just been, if I've been skimming off, 1% of the trade for the last, 150 years, that I'm doing fine. of the most important city on the planet.
So it's good that you owe someone something. It's a good you're a good person to owe something, all the way around. I guess, yeah. You're liquid.
Yeah, I may have.
What
so
could that
you owe me one. Okay.
I mean, you're involved with police, firemen. Could be something there.
I guess I could have maybe someone you can. I guess you killed a few people too.
Who would that be?
And, I'm not sure.
You killed the low lives out of the hunting grounds of Jacobus, maybe.
Well, it could be possible that I made some dead person disappear or appear to have been killed through some kind of fire instead of being murdered.
Yeah, sure. Who was that, Jacobus? That Aurelia got rid of?
Who was so? Is this a debt that I owe her, or a debt that she's going to owe me?
You owe her.
You owe me.
Oh, so how long have you been a vampire, Aurelia?
How long? I think maybe 100 years. Except I don't. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a good amount of years.
Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to think of. So the obvious thing would be that you remove some threat to me. Actually, Paul's, who was it? Heliodorus had been a pariah who would take on hit jobs. And he is gone, I believe.
Oh yeah, maybe the puppet master was behind that. So.
Right.
That's.
Oh right, yeah, because he killed someone else, and then we had that whole kind of like little tribunal thing, and
yeah.
Right, and then was it Sergius offered to kill him for? Okay. Anyway, right. So let me think. So I had found some. There was a group of North African vampires that had tried to move into the city, and I acted on that very quickly since the gates are my hunting ground, and instead of kind of going through procedure, Roman procedure takes forever to get permission from Augustus to wipe them out. I had you take them out. I had you manufacture an incident and take them all out, and then I claimed credit for it.
Yeah.
So I owe you a debt for that. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, that's good.
I think I'd like to excard that a little bit actually, and make it not North African, or if that's okay.
I was just thinking of some province.
No, that's fine. We can make it fits well that they are Wiscots, because there's a lot of Wiscot slaves, and the reason that if you're okay with that.
Sure. Actually, the first one that came to mind was Syria, and I said not Syria.
Oh.
Okay, good, but that's fine. You got rid of some because there's actually the reason that apparently Elric came to conquer Rome was that they had so many slaves. He wanted to free them, so it makes sense in a way as well. So we got rid of some troublemakers for Jacobus. Cool. And your hunting grounds, you have hunting grounds. Your hunting grounds is I had it ready here somewhere. Let's see. Where is it? Let's see. It was number 2. No, that was yours. Okay, so it's
like 1 and 7. It looks like for you.
Yeah. Where is that? Okay, so I take away that then. So you take in the Escavilla. I don't know how it's pronounced. The V. I can ping it here. This is where your hunting ground is. Your hunting grounds have the following tags. It's let's see. I have to find the tags. It has an abundance of 1, awareness of 2, and a proximity of 2.
Okay.
So that means it's not a lot of people there at night. It's I think it's a residential area. It's like a pretty like nice residential area where there's a lot of like let's see people in like bureaucracy positions, a lot of, and also like soldiers or like officers and stuff who live there. There's houses pretty much. And although it's quite populated, it's not a very busy place at night. So it can be a little difficult to find people to feed on. I think mainly what your diet consists of is people going early to work in the night.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's it has a lot of, it's very nice though. It has a lot of like I think a lot of like olive trees and even like a few gardens and parks. Not a lot, but it's a nice area. Cool. Yeah, and your rival. Let's see who that is. I think maybe
anyone from the relationship map.
Yeah, that's for me to establish though.
All right.
You don't get to choose. I think maybe, Claudia maybe is your rival. Okay. So, and the amount of blood you start with is equal to your humanity plus 7.
So 9. I get humanity 2.
Yeah, so you get 9, 9 blood. Okay. So just a quick. So how you can see there's the basic move sheet on Roll20. How the game works is pretty much like you use blood for pretty much everything. So it's pretty much like a resource kind of game a little bit. You have to ensure that you have enough blood to do what you want. So what pretty much most of the things are just like spend the blood to do something fancy, but if there's two moves, especially like it's a medal, which is pretty much like the interfere with other people's business move, which you bet blood. So it's pretty much like a poker game of blood, and it is like about who bets the most wins the medal. And also the fight move is also like that. Yeah. So, and if you have any questions about the mechanics, you just shout away. I might be able to answer them. I still get confused a little bit by these some of these moves, but I think we are getting by all right. Yeah. So I think we're all ready to get into play. What slaves was a question mark from Asher. There is a lot of there's a lot of slavery in Rome at this time. It's from all over the provinces, pretty much like whoever they conquered. There's slaves from, these Wiscots who are the one who are outside the doors of Rome at the moment. They well, at least speculation. I'm not sure how accurate historically it is, but apparently, like the Alaric, who is the commander of the Wiscot army, he came to free 20,000 Wiscot slaves. That's what he wanted. So yeah, that gives you a picture of how many slaves there must have been there. You're muted, Jim.
The Roman economy was based on slavery, like that was like kind of the original economic system, and then that was replaced by feudalism and replaced by capitalism. So basically, unless you kind of had some kind of property, like even me I think us as a Roman citizen who's a plebeian, they own their house and can own slaves, but the vast majority of what we would call the working class now are slaves.
So good times.
Was what are the Wiscot slaves? Is that what you're saying? Or are these like Scottish or I don't know?
Germanic.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Visigoth tribe had settled in the Iberian Peninsula. That's Spain.
Oh, yeah, okay. So there you go.
All right, cool. Now I have a little more reference. Thank you.
So from now on, we're not historically accurate. Cool. I'll do a starting scene. I think you see the start of episode kind of cutscene is we.
So, is there any time move forward 150 years kind of move? Like you said, I was a patrician. Is there other stuff that's kind of happened within us, or?
Yeah, we did the downtime moves last time. We did some stuff.
So it's just what happened in the downtime moves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a few things has happened in the Vampire Society. There's been a whole field where Rufus died as a patrician, and Horatius stepped in. a lot of the vampires, well, some of them have been busy with trade, some of them are busy in wars. Especially Priscus and Horatius have been involved with the Roman expansion, and there's been brought a lot of slaves as well in and even like vampires they captured while being other places. Mostly they usually didn't survive long, as their status was Pariah at best, can be described as Pariah at best. But there's come and gone a lot of vampires since then. Now as we find as the episode starts, I think we pan over Rome. You see, I think probably from our last episode, even though it's grown slightly bigger, it's still it's not as full with great newly built buildings. The era of the great building of Colosseum and the great temples seem to be over for now, at least. And as the camera like pans around, you see a big army marching towards Rome. And also you see the walls of Rome being manned by soldiers, even though a lot lacking in number in comparison to the forces that are coming against the city. This first scene, I think, we will be once again at the palace, where we last left our characters. Although it's now a good 150 years later since we last saw them. You see, it's on the biggest hill of Rome. The castle has a great view, and where I think last time you saw a great. I mean, you still see the Circus Maximus, but what catches your view is the army outside marching towards the walls. You can almost hear marching, even though they must be like a half-day march out of the city. And Augustus has once again gathered the vampires in council to discuss the situation. So how do we see that 150 years has moved past on Jacobus? What is this? What does it tell?
Well, he really, when we last saw him, he hadn't really changed from his his garb as a citizen. He'd only been a vampire, I think, for 15 years, I think, at that point. And now he is in he's in fine robes. He said he's been he's been skimming. The goods of the empire come through. The goods of the empire pass through his hunting grounds. So he's had the take of the pick of whatever he's wanted, and so fine fine robes. He's no longer just wearing. Wearing a tunic. He doesn't need to, be able to be free to do, to be able to move freely to work or fight like he did when he was a soldier. So, anyway, that's what he looks like. I have another question. So is he going to have the same blood that he did at the end of our last time?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we lose one when we wake up, right? I don't know if this counts as waking up.
Yeah, you do. I think actually because you did almost have nothing left, right? Last time, right?
Jacobus has 4. So if he does 1, he's gonna if he uses.
I think it makes sense. You all start with your humanity plus 7, actually, because I mean, in 200 years, I'm sure you would be able to not be hungry and go amok at the first chance.
Hey, that is my roundabout way of arguing that.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah. So and then yeah, I think you see Jacobus standing with probably like a little like entourage, all dressed. You probably stand by Augustus' side to be fair at this moment. I think he's whispering in your ear. Here comes the Karens. And then the camera pans to Spuria. How does Spuria look?
So I was thinking about this. I think she started to embrace some of the new technologies. So one of them is using water to mine. So I think she has like clothes for that, right? Like they can get wet and a little dirty. But she's probably like higher up, right? Like these slaves are doing the work, and she's just like watching over them mostly.
Mm-hmm. What has Spuria predicted about the future of Rome?
That's a good question. I think she just is closer to these people, so she can get a feel for what they want, and then tell these higher ups, like, "Oh, the slaves are thinking about X," or
Yeah, I think probably if that's the case, maybe it has something to do with like the spreading of like that the people are unsatisfied and somehow there's going to be a shift in the status quo.
Yeah, like the returns aren't coming in like they used to, so there's going to be some sort of a backlash.
Mm-hmm. Who has she told?
I don't know that Augustus wanted to know. And Claudia is like the rival Rufus, so I wouldn't tell her. Maybe I told Priscius.
Yeah, I think he now. Yeah. Let's make it that he is actually very curious of what you have to say, and he's been taking your counsel a little bit. I think he owes you a minor debt.
Okay, cool.
So where is Aurelia standing in all this? Is she standing in the center of the room where the most people are, or is she standing at the edge?
I think she's more at the edge because she's not been long here, and she's just still observing and looking how she can move up somehow. Some more.
Yeah, how long have you been here?
I think it's probably only been a few months, maybe 6. Yeah.
Who have you eyed out as a target? Who is the weak link in the chain?
What? One of the player characters or anyone?
Anyone.
Well, I think.
And probably like upwards because you're moving. You want to move up, right?
Yeah.
So it's either Claudia or Horatius or Augustus.
Huh. Well, probably Claudia because she's my rival.
Yeah. What
That.
makes you? Why do you see her as the weakest link?
Well, who's Portius? Oh. I think she has made too many vampires and she's kind of losing track of all of them.
Yeah, she's losing control of
Overextended.
her web.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and I think at this moment you see Claudia like eyeing you from the center of the room where she's. Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I think she's probably speaking with Porteus, another vampire you know that has shared her hunting grounds. There's rumors about what's going on, but there's definitely some sort of relationship there, but nobody really knows what. And I think actually another woman is standing not so far from you, like leaning against the wall. You know her as Marcella. She is also a new vampire in this society since our last session. Well, actually, the last thing that happened was that she died. It's the sister of Heliodorus.
I didn't know that she was turned though.
No, she was. It's a consequence of the bargain. She is. I think. Yeah, she is. She looks at Claudia and over at you and says, "She really doesn't like you, does she?"
You mean Claudia doesn't like me? Why? Like what you want? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why. Why you would go to anger such a revengeful woman? Doesn't seem like the best idea.
I guess it's not such a great idea, I guess. But I don't intend to. So do you?
Who? What me? An innocent sweet girl like me? I don't have any enemies.
Oh, that's good to hear. So we're going to be great friends then.
I think she like laughs a little bit at that and says, "Yeah, we have so much in common. You having a big powerful enemy and me not having a big powerful enemy. Great couple."
Oh, you don't have any enemies. That's improbable.
I don't have any enemies present, at least.
Oh. Huh.
Let's leave it at
You
that.
seem to be a nice girl then.
Hardly. But I'm certainly nicer than some of the monsters in this room. She whispers, I think. And speaking of which, I think the camera shifts over to Spuria talking to standing with Priscus. Are you here as his counselor? You're muted.
Yeah, I didn't have my headphones plugged in, so I don't want echo. Who was it again?
Priscus.
Priscus. Oh yeah, the person I was talking to. Sure, I could be his counselor. Maybe up to Augustus eventually. But
yeah, I mean, Priscus is in a bit of a weird situation because he's the maker of Horatius, and Horatius is now over him in status.
I mean, that doesn't seem weird. That happens a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, and also he introduced because he introduced Rufus to Augustus. He didn't. He fell down in pecking order when it turned out that Rufus was a traitor. Funnily enough, he has found the same the same advisor as Rufus had. And I think he you're probably like walking into the room and he looks over at Augustus and he says, so when was that prophecy of yours going to get fulfilled anyway? You said that the end of Augustus was near 200 years ago, didn't you?
Wrong.
I said it.
It's
The king.
character.
Right. Okay. I'm speaking to you, or I'm speaking to Perseus?
You're speaking to Precious.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was just saying that the kingdom was being corrupted, not necessarily. Right. We're becoming something different.
Yeah, and I think he has this a little bit. He almost sounds a little tense when he says it. He says, "Yeah, that was at least true prophecy." And now it seems it's going to change again, don't you think?
For sure, yeah.
I heard there's vampires among the officers of the army. Have you seen anything about that?
How would you tell someone's a vampire? I guess I might have heard the same rumors, but I don't know if they're true.
I mean, usually noticed by someone acting like they have 300 years of experience in military matters.
Assuming they've been in the military for 300 years.
He scoffs a little bit and he says, and also, I mean, you don't have to be a better leader just because you've been in it for 300 years. And I think he looks over at Augustus. And our camera pans over to Jacobus standing by Augustus' side.
I snarl at that comment.
Yeah, you hear it? Yeah, I think Augustus doesn't even register.
Right, it's beneath him.
He what were you talking about before you were snarling?
I didn't really have that good intelligence on them. I was talking about a plan that I had to make blood slaves of a couple of the military leaders, and so that they would lead a small fraction of their troops, say 100 of 50 or 100 of them, sort of out somewhere where I was going to slaughter them and do a blood ritual to undercut Alaric. Because we're kind of, I'm old guard. I'm kind of like things the way they are.
Yeah, I think probably like this is something you say in front of everyone, right?
I would offer it to the court. There's no reason to hide this. I didn't know that there were vampires already there.
Yeah, I think it makes sense because you're Augustus' trusted advisor on military matters. I mean, he is not a military man, and he doesn't really trust. I mean, he doesn't really trust anyone. A little, I guess, but of the people, well, actually, he seems to trust you. I mean, you saved his life once, and you haven't betrayed him since. So as for loyalty goes, I think he really listens to what you have to say about this. So I think he lets you speak this in front of the court. I think the court reacts with silence. Does any of Aurelia or Spuria react anything to this? No. Okay, I think you hear like it's. I think you could hear a pin drop. I mean, it's a very like heavy mood. It's not a good situation. I think you hear it in the like after a small maybe like a minute, which seemed much longer of silence. Priscus raises his voice and says, blood sacrifice rarely comes without consequence. Haven't we? Don't we? Are we not heeding the prophecy of our corrupting empire?
Consequences. We live forever. We can deal with the consequences. It sounds like you're timid. You're all timid. No one says a word.
I think he almost he doesn't smile, but it's like a smirk, and says, I mean, everyone lives forever until their head is decapitated. 20,000 people should be enough people to do that, even for on a vampire. You might be able to contend with your mobs around the gates when it's just the bandits or thieves, but this is an army.
Right. So we control that. So we control the leaders of the army, and then we control the army.
Yeah, and I think as you say that, Augustus says with like a pretty like loud. He has a very voice that carries very well. It's a pretty like big room, and he says, then this is what we will do. You will gather the soldiers you need, and I haven't heard any better suggestions. So this is the course of action we will take.
All right. Let me see who my ballpark, who let's see, who are my backers? among this group. I guess actually. Actually, I'm one of these guys who just follows the leader. I don't really have anyone who's owes me anything except Augustus.
Yeah, I think. I mean, there's some people who owe loyalty to Augustus, though, like Tullius, and also well, Horatius. So
And Horatius is my maker. I say.
And Claudia even. I mean, they owe them death, so they've been people who have been loyal, as mostly to him, but not. I mean, you don't. You're just Augustus' friend, pretty much.
Right. So what my plan was is to to go make some blood slaves among the Visigoth army officers,
Mm-hmm.
and control them that way, since you can't control another vampire.
Yeah, it's true.
Um,
So, how are you planning to do that?
I was
Viscots, blood
I was
slaves.
just I'm sorry, what?
Who are you going to make blood slave exactly? Like Roman, you wanted to make?
No, of the
Oh, okay.
of the barbarian officers.
Sure. How are you planning to do that?
I was going. Well, I was going to go and kind of do some feeding out in Alaric's army. I mean, I mean these guys are close to being effective only because they've been trained by Romans.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alaric maybe even grew up part of the time, and I remember from this book I read 1,000 years ago, like he actually grew up Roman. Like maybe he was like a hostage or something. It was like a royal hostage or something like that. But he's pretty. He could definitely be pretty assimilated as a Roman. So what I would be doing, and also I know kind of the sort of low level army officer thing, because I was myself. So what I want to do is not subvert the whole army, but really just use them to power some ritual
Sure.
to kind of end this thing.
Okay, I get
So I was
what
going
you.
to go out. I was going to go out and like enslave, a couple other,
Sure.
centurions for a couple different forces.
Sure. I just wanted to know like what mechanical direction we're going in, so I can set the scene for it.
Okay.
So yeah, we're fine. I have what I need. So as for our other true ambitious vampires, this is a great situation to put stocks in places where also if you wanted to, but also I mean there's a lot of movers and shakers here. If you wanted to do something to advance your status.
Well, I was thinking Jacobus still owes me for keeping his secret.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you wanted to talk about that arrow character, like what the secret is and like how you imagine that going down.
I don't know that I told you what. So what happened is that in the course of my being turned, I was a fine physical specimen. In fact, that's why Horatius chose me, because I was not as beat up as many veterans were who were at my point. So he thought I had to be lucky or skillful or some combination of both. Thought it would be interesting to have me on Team Vampire. But during the course of my during the course of being turned, like I was I was injured, and I was injured. I was injured as a mortal, and then died, and so I wasn't able. So I kind of passed over with this disability, but that's not something that the Vampire Society. And in fact, I was I was not supposed to be that way, but I've been more or less able to hide it. And early on, I asked the help of the Sybil on strategies for hiding that, which you gave me, and I incurred a minor debt to you. But since then you've been stealing from me and thwarting me. So I'm not actually sure that minor debt even still exists.
It does.
It does. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
it don't. It does until the debt is repaid. So yeah, looking at your debt is a good way to which is, or like a good way to look at how you can get influences to. Okay, how can I help someone to get so that they owe me a major debt, for example. How would you go about getting leverage on other people? So like there's both Horatius and Claudia, and also Priscus, and even actually Jacobus also is kind of like a major player here, actually, in addition to Augustus, to get like influence, I would say. So it's just about like how would you go about doing that? What do your character would do?
Would you do that by bargaining? Because you said people couldn't bargain with me, but maybe I could bargain like with Jacobus because I have the debt, or he has the debt to me.
Yeah, I mean, you can always bargain for. I mean, it's not very difficult for you to get a higher status if you wanted to. You just, I think, even. Sure. I mean, let's just. I think I can set the scene for you if that will make it easier.
Sure.
I think as you leave, together with Priscus again. I think he says to you, like mumbling, "I don't think this is going to end well. The blood of 50 Roman soldiers."
Not Roman soldiers, barbarian soldiers. I mean, I'm not in the scene. Just
yeah. Okay. Well, 50 soldiers. That seems like a. And I think he looks. He stops, and you're at like a big stair going down from the height, and I think he looks over the wall, and you see the big black like blob in where the army is. Pretty much, you can even see it from here. And he says, I think he looks over to you, and he says, "Any advice you can give me that could help me stop this, Spuria, I would owe you greatly."
Well, you said there were vampires, so maybe we need vampires to fight vampires, right? We need to have our own Roman vampire army. I think then they would be undefeated, right?
Yeah, but what would the people do if they saw vampires fighting humans? I mean, we also have to live off of the people here. I think he looks. You can use I mean, you can also bargain here if you wanted to. Like if you want them to take your advice for something. If you want to, I mean, if you want to influence them to make an army of. I mean, I'd make an army of vampires. I guess. Why not?
Sure, yeah, because I'm trying to get Augustus' favor, right? So by making the kingdom safe and stuff, hopefully that helps. Yeah, so I think I want to start with like an army of vampires, and then like slowly add more humans and change up the mix so like people remember the name, right? Like this troop is the ones that are undefeated, right? Even if the people in it change.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that'll help help with the image issues. Right, we just need to get the idea out there that we have this powerful army.
I think he does what he does say too is that remember if you make an army of vampires without permission, you would. I mean, it's not like you have so much to lose, but I don't think Augustus would be pleased. But if you solve the problem, what would you demand?
I would demand like a closer ear to Augustus. Have him actually listen to some of my suggestions.
Well, I can't promise you anything I don't have. My ears is not Augustus's.
That's true.
But well,
maybe someone closer to him then, like I can go up the chain.
And I think he like scowls a little bit and says, "Oh, I'm sure that at the end of this I will be higher up the chain, especially if you help me. But you have to come up with some better suggestions than making an army of vampires."
Wait, so he's saying this to Augustus in public?
No. They're not in public.
Okay.
It's like walking out of the.
Sure. No, I because if it were in public, I would have a response.
I mean, that would be a very stupid thing to do in public. I think. I think it does. I think actually he rejects your bargain. His higher pecking order, and I think I think he thinks it's a pretty stupid idea in a way.
All right.
Like because it's not really allowed to make vampires without permissions. So he will be, it's a very dangerous thing to do. If you fail at it, you would, And I think he walks down the stairs and he says, "Come to me when you have a better idea, Freya." And I think we cut over to Auralia. Where are you? What are you doing?
Well, I'm listening in, and I've got a question. This was the last exchange between Spuria and who was the other person?
Priscus.
Oh, because that's who I was going to approach next.
Oh, yeah, maybe you overheard that conversation. If you're following.
Yeah, I owe a debt to him.
Do you try to stay hidden from Spuria as you pass? Because you I guess he let you standing at the top of the stair while he was walking down Spuria.
I don't think I'm trying to be hidden from Spuria. No, I think I tried to be seen actually.
Yeah, so you walk past Spuria like like immediately after that exchange. Do you say anything as Aurelia passes Spuria?
What status is Aurelia? Just curious.
I'm plebeian. Yeah.
Okay. So they're just like consulting. Maybe I'll try to just listen in then, like see what these plebeians are talking about.
If you want to stay hidden, I think you need to flaunt.
Oh, that seems counterintuitive.
Because I mean, I don't know if you want to make an effort to stay hidden from vampires, I think you need to. You don't have to, I guess. You don't have to try to stay hidden.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to stay hidden. I'm just trying to listen to their ideas. You know, like I suggested some things. Like, what do they think?
Yeah. Okay, so you catch up with Priscus. I think yeah, I think he stops like a second in the middle of the stair and like looks. Yeah, I think actually at some of those vigils, the firemen walking past, they have been also been involved in like preparing the walls for a siege, and they're carrying some like some wood to make some barricades or something like that.
Right.
And yeah, as you catch up to him, and he as you like as you are like 2 meters behind him, I think he says, "Oh, I got company."
Yes. Well, I was wondering what I might do to help in this situation. I could offer the services of my employees in any way you would see fit.
I think he like he's. If you like, how do you go to his side or in front of him, or like how do you stand in relation to him?
Well, I don't think I'm shy. I'm just going up to him to just in front of him, I guess.
Yeah, I think he like smiles at you and he says, all these competent women offering me their services to help, and I'm just a plebeian. Well, am I not in luck?
Maybe
What
not for long.
Is Aurelia? Are you a plebeian or a pariah? I forget.
I'm a plebeian too.
Okay, because I just didn't see your hunting grounds up on the map. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't write them.
She must be in 5.
Yes.
That's the only.
Yes.
The only open space. Well,
Yes.
I'd be happy to tap into this scene.
Let's wait a little bit at least. I think if you wanted to, you can interject a little bit. But I want to have a. I think he says, well, I am sure. I think he smiles at you saying that you don't think he will. I mean, speaking to his ego is obviously a good idea, and he just like smiles and says, well. I thought maybe we should talk to them.
Talk to whom?
I don't know, the leaders of this army.
The leaders of the enemy army.
Yes. I mean, who knows what they want?
I think they want to take the city. But you're right. I'm sorry. I may have been too forward. We certainly don't know what they want exactly. Yes, it's true.
And I mean, I think he looks at like the firemen who are just like dragging these poles over this square, and I think he says, "Well, I mean, if they want the city, they will take it." And I think he looks. I mean, it's very like obvious what he's meaning. Like we have these pole dragging firemen protecting the city. It's not a good situation. It's just a matter of how little loss can we take.
I see. Well,
And I'm not the one of those people who think we can sacrifice blood without loss.
Well, I can certainly have my men reinforce the walls some more. If somehow I would gain access to some more material.
I think I'd rather use your silver tongue than your carpeting skills.
I'm supposed to talk to them?
I mean, you do sway a good bargain.
Do I? Okay. Well, I can try. But who can guarantee I'm safe going there?
I think he smiles and he says, if you want to climb the ranks, it's never safe.
Oh, I see.
But I will certainly owe you a great favor.
Well, I'm sure you know you owe me a favor already. Yeah.
Well,
Other way around.
yes.
I owe you one. Yes.
Yeah, I think.
So I'm happy to help you.
That's what I want to hear, and I think if you want to interject yourself into the scene, you can now, Jacobus.
Okay. Have I heard any of this? Have I heard any of this bargaining or?
I think you heard the very last part, and you see. I think you probably see. I mean, you probably. I definitely think you see Spuria. I don't think. I don't think Priscus minds you listening into this, Spuria. I mean, actually, it's kind of. I think he kind of like lets you listen to it on purpose a little bit, even the bad advice he thinks you gave earlier. So you get the whole thing, but I don't think you. I think you just get the last bit where it seems like Priscus and Aurelia has an agreement on something.
Huh. Okay. And I don't have much of a beat on Priscus. So I say I come up and I say, hi Aurelia. I like the work that you did with me before, and I'm still partially in your debt for that. And I think you would be the perfect up and coming vampire leader to sort of assist me in undercutting the Visigoth army in this plan. So part of what you get out of this is that there is plenty to eat there, and I know that your hunting grounds are not the ripest. So what I'd like you to do is, and also because you're a woman and human men are so stupid about women, if you could go to and pretend that you're a camp follower in the camp and just make a big distraction, and you can kind of eat your fill. It'll make it easier for me to
make your blood slaves.
Yeah, to take the pick of those I need for us to preserve the empire in the city and things the way they are.
Well, as it happens, I did intend to go there and have a little chat.
A little chat with whom?
Well, let's just say a little chat with a few of the Visigoths.
The Visigoths. You're gonna talk to those barbarians?
Well, why not?
What are you, a human?
Sorry?
I said, what are you, a human?
No. What are you
I
implying?
thought you proved. I thought you proved yourself. Above. Above this kind of relationship stuff with humans when you did that job for me. That's why I came to you, because I was beginning to trust you.
I kind of think this triggers the bargain move, actually. Because you're trying to make a bargain with another predator here, definitely.
Right.
We
haven't even done a bargain move, so this should be fun.
Yeah. So when you bargain with a predator, describe the goods or services that you desire from them. You've done that. They may refuse. If they refuse and you're higher in the pecking order than them, they come a pariah. If they accept your bargain and they may demand a new debt from you, demand that you forgive a debt that they currently owe you, or demand other goods or services in return. So the terms are negotiated by the favor the predator that is higher in the pecking order. So I think here actually, because there's no move that tells you that you're higher in the pecking order, and that you are equal status. Nobody's anyone's maker here, but and nobody owes each other a major debt. But you actually.
I believe I have two major debts, though. I have one from Augustus and one.
Yeah, but not to Aurelia.
Oh, they have
you
to
owe
be direct
you
to
owe
me to be
you owe.
better.
I lost my book. Good job.
Yeah, my book is a loosely confusing thing.
You owe Aurelia that. So actually, she can say no if she wants to, because she's higher in the pecking order in this instance.
Oh, so the debt makes me higher.
Barely.
Well, I think I will accept.
This is going to be more fun. You want to talk to these barbarians? Come on, let's go eat.
But you were, I mean, it's your wish for me to go there, right? Why shouldn't I? And take the opportunity.
That's right. Take the opportunity. That is what I am saying.
All right. Let's do this. I go over there, and you will have time to do whatever you're planning while I'm talking.
I'm actually asking you to go over there and be a. That won't really get in my way, because the people, the humans that I intend to enslave, are not high enough level for you to want to negotiate with them. Though my memories of my life as a Roman citizen recoil from your preference to negotiation over conquest.
Yeah, how does that look when you're in like in the physical space? How do you react? Or do you just say that?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
I mean, I'm saying it with, it's I'm saying with a little bit of venom. I'm not sure that that's going to turn her. It's kind of just what's
cool.
left of reacting off the hip.
Cool. So,
well, I'm thinking I already made the promise to Priscus, right?
Are you telling me this?
No, I'm not telling you this. I'm just telling you what she's thinking.
Sure.
So I can't go back on that, but maybe I can tell you I'm doing what you want and still try to
So
do
it's-
what Priscus wants to,
Okay, so
which
instead
can
of
only go
lying,
wrong.
lying to Priscus, you're gonna lie to me. Okay.
Yes. I'm doing both.
Cool. I think we cut the scene there, and I think we're gonna have a break, and be back at 5 minutes to, so 55.
All right.
See you in 10 minutes.
See you.
Yeah, you're right about that, Asher. You are the rules expert.
I was just trying to figure out like how to gain status. That doesn't seem to be talked about very much. It's just how to lose. There's a lot of ways to become a pariah, but not very many ways to go up.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, I can change your status at any time, but I think it kind of makes sense in the fiction that because your rival with Augustus,
Right.
enemy of Augustus, I think it makes sense that because you have the status move, and that's the thing you can do for sure.
What's the status move?
If you look at your character sheet, there is
status move. Okay, yeah, I see.
That's the way you can I mean, that's the thing you can just do. It will put you in the headlights, but I mean, if you wanted to do that, I can make it happen at the price.
I'm just trying to figure out how these visions work too. Like, so I guess I'm supposed to do that in the downtime. So I like set up these visions and then have them fulfilled in the downtime somehow. Because I have special downtime moves too.
Oh yeah.
You can unfold details about another predator's future that might save his skin or improve their fortune. So maybe I could like set up some fortune about someone and then have it happen later in the downtime.
That's true. I didn't even see those.
Checkmate another predator. His status is less than or equal to your own.
Oh, that's cool. But I don't think you have to. It doesn't say you have to do the downtime stuff to do the King's Hero one. I don't think you do.
Right, but I have an advice is a downtime move.
Yeah, you do. That's just like because the other ones also have their custom downtime moves, but Sybil is not. The Sybil playbook doesn't have them because they're not in the book, right? So these are like your two special ones.
All right.
So yeah, for the next time.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the mechanics. Like, not super familiar with the setting, and then it feels like the mechanics are hard to like. I can't do a lot of the moves and stuff, so it's challenging. But I think I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we can talk about that in the end. I think it's also challenging, but I think just I think look at your playbook moves, and I will take care of the rest in terms of moves. I'll say when I think you do something, you describe what you do in the fiction, and I'll do that. Okay, so speaking of which, what are you up to, Spuria? It seems your friend has found a new advisor.
Right, but I gave this advice that that the people were kind of unruly, I guess. So I want to try to put all these slaves into this project also. Maybe like convince them to come help build this wall so that they're not as unruly, right? Like giving them things to do and ways to help the kingdom.
What you want to get out of it, I think, is something I'm curious about, because I mean, you could do it for your own sake, but I mean, why would you when you can do it for someone else's sake, so they can owe you?
Right. I think it's just like to help Perseus and Arula, right? Like they came up with this plan, and then I'm like, oh, I'm contributing, you know.
I think it would be cool to see you and Augustus in a scene. This is
Okay.
because I mean, it's been 150 years.
Right. And this time I'm not trying to pick a fight. Like actually.
Yeah, and you know stuff too now. I mean, you just overheard a conversation, so I'm just saying.
All right.
there is other options, but I'm just gently pushing in a direction. If you wanted to, only with consent, pushing, consensual pushing.
Well, maybe Claudia would be interesting because she was against Rufus.
That's true.
Maybe now that Rufus is gone, we can form some sort of agreement.
Yeah, it would be cool. Also, it would be cool to see Claudia on screen. Cool. So, how do you approach her? Do you like come to her place, or do you? Is there a middleman, or how do you go about it?
Well, she would be. How is it laid out? I'm not exactly sure how.
Her hunting grounds is in the Forum Romanum. It's a city square in the center of the city.
Okay.
So I mean, she's pretty accessible as well. I think she's the kind of person where she would make sure to be available, to be found as much as possible, because I mean, she's a networker kind of person, definitely, I think.
Yes, I think I'll just come to her with this information that I found.
Yeah, and I think you get led into like this. I think it's this like it's a pretty big house, and you see this. You get led into this courtyard, and there's this very like elaborate, very beautiful mosaic that is like covering the whole courtyard. And I think the mosaic is it's like it's of a bear attacking a lion, and I think you see Claudia. She's sitting. It's like by a fountain, and like and there's this yeah, I think these Viscot slaves that are like fanning her, kind of like with airs, because it's a hot day, and she like looks up at you and gestures for you to come to her.
All right, I think I'll like give my respect, like bow or whatever, and say, Claudia, I've found new information that there are vampires in these attacking armies. So we're preparing a wall to help defend the city. And
yeah, I think she doesn't even blink at you saying there's vampires at that. She just like, and yeah, continue.
But I thought this would be a great public works project, right? We can put all these slaves to actually helping defend the city and help being proud of where they are, you know?
She takes a deep breath, and she
I think
she looks over. I think she takes her hand on your shoulder, and she like waves away the slaves. And public works project.
right. We've been kind of stagnant as far as making new things in the past few hundred years. So I think people are eager to see a wonder, you know? So if we can put all our effort into this, then we can make something magnificent.
What do you have in mind exactly?
Well, I've been working with the miners using water to mine things. Maybe we can use this water in the wall so people can't, like, if part of it's destroyed or something, then it'll explode out at the intruders. Or
That is an interesting idea. I think yeah, she turns like towards the fountain and takes like a hand of water and drinks it. I've waited for you to come and for quite a while, Spurrier. But it seems you have used the time well to come up with a good idea.
it sounds like you have an idea of your own.
I always have ideas, but that's not the point. Two ideas is always better than one.
I'll have to consult with you more then.
No, she smiles and nods and says, "So, how long do you think that this will take? I mean, it will have to be pretty quick if it's to be of use against these." And I think she like looks over to the slaves who are like walking in, like probably like in this moment going in the house. These barbarians.
Right. Well, that's the trick. Is if we have all these slaves, if we put them into this project, it could get done even faster than just our normal workers doing the normal project.
She like nods and so this
Like
sounds all well and good, Spurrier, but what do you want in return? I mean, surely this there is something behind you suddenly coming here after 150 years with this great suggestion.
Well, I want to start gaining status, becoming part of this this society. I don't want to just be an outcast anymore. You know. I want to try to make the city great instead of just warning people about its downfall.
Yeah, I think she smiles at that and says, "There are people who will want to listen to your seeing downfalls, but maybe not the people, and also maybe not stupid men with big egos. You will do well to remember that." As for status, I don't expect Augustus to be in power very long if he continues with this rash course of actions that he does with his advisor. I mean, this Jacobus, he doesn't seem to be of the right mold for an advisor to a Princip, if you catch my drift.
I do.
And I think we cut the scene there. Cool. And back to Jacobus. What are you up to? You're finding blood sacrifice, aren't you? You're muted. Oh, I can't hear you. Well, you aren't muted actually, but I can't hear you.
Yeah. You neither. Huh.
Maybe check your mic connection or something.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, hi. Yeah, you know what? It's a new thing. It has a mute button on it that I did by accident. Thanks for noticing that. Right. So I need to retcon a little bit by reading the rules more correctly. I'm looking to have like the exact plan is to get two commanders of a unit of a group of like 10 soldiers each, because I really want 20, not 100. I was misreading the rules of. I forgot that you got 5 blood per person.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, you need 20 people.
Right. So I'm looking for sort of the lower level centurions that would command.
Yeah.
Squads like that. And I'll stop off. I mean, I'm actually. So now Aurelia has agreed to go with me. So I say we stop off at the gates for a snack to get a little more powerful. And I let her eat a little bit from my hunting grounds.
Sure.
Oh.
Are you the one hunting?
Sure. Yes. Right. That's a move. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So I'm going to read out the move just quickly.
Okay.
When you stalk your prey, you track down and corner a victim. The GM describes them and how they try to escape you. You may choose a number of options up to your status. Only the options chosen are true. If you hunt on your own hunting grounds, you may choose an additional option. You may also choose an additional option for every 1 blood. So I think if you're, I mean, the gates right now, they're not filled with traders and stuff as normal, because I mean it's close to the wall. So I think there's quite a lot of there's people like building, enforcing the barricades. It's like, among others, the like vigilance, and also like soldiers, probably. I mean, it's mostly like the legionnaires, not so much like officers around. I mean, because there's an officer with every like troop, but it's not. This is just like guard duty, pretty much. It's not very heavily manned, because I mean they are still like maybe 1 or 2 days away, and they're conserving their strength.
Uh-huh.
So that's the kind of crowd. I think like what kind of I think you see probably like this patrol of guards, actually. They're just like three people going like around the wall. This would seem like a easy victim.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of that. So, because it's the kind of thing that when you're on guard, nobody really cares what you're doing unless you kind of show up and then they yell at you, I think. Right. So what do I do? I guess I should actually look at the move myself.
So you have 1 status, right?
I have 1 status and we're in my hunting grounds.
Yeah, so you have 2 choices. So the choices are you stalk your victim quickly, you stifle your victim's screams to avoid the spooking the prey, you gently subdue your victim, and you deftly evade the prying eyes of your fellow predators.
Okay, well, the last one is not important to me. So I definitely want to do this on the down low. So I'd be like the no struggle and the quiet, and then probably just like I'm thinking of actually. I don't know. I think I'm getting more. He would be a Roman soldier. So I guess I want to take 3 blood from this guy, and I'll pour.
Hold on a little bit, because that's a different move.
Later.
So okay. You stifle your victim's screams and you gently subdue them.
Right.
So pretty much I think you stalk them for a little while to find like a good opportune moment, instead of like going for the quick meal, so to speak. I think you probably like they take like a break at like a well, and they're all like with their backs to like as they're towing up the bucket from the well, and at this time you have like the chance to you take your chance, and you definitely like take them out very quickly, without any noise.
3 of them.
Yes.
Mm.
And and you both feed.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Aurelia says, hold on, is it a good idea to weaken our soldiers like this? We shouldn't take too much.
Right. So so they have 5 blood in them. I would say to take 3 will leave them debilitated on the short term. And what I usually do is I pour wine on both their heads so they just smell like they've been drinking.
Okay.
Then it's okay. Cool. So
Well, no,
cool.
they're gonna get it. No, they're gonna get in trouble for being wasted, abandoning their post. But I don't really care about their personal consequences.
Yeah, sure. So you sink your fangs in the neck and feed from them. Take you have 3 people. Like so, how do you divide them? Is it like
Has each of them 5?
yes,
5 blood?
I'm gonna give permission to take 3 from each, since it's my home grounds.
I mean, you can certainly try, as you see on the.
I mean, if you try to drink, like I'm gonna basically hand one to you, and I say, don't take more than 3 out of them. Now you don't have to. If you don't do what I tell you to do, then that's
no, I'm not taking more than 3. Actually, I have 12 max blood, and I'm at 9, so 3 is perfect.
Cool. So we can start with you then. Let's see, Aurelia. If you look at the feed movie, when you sink your fangs in feed,
I can only take a 12. So there's 1 for each of us.
Okay. So the other one just gonna be wondering what the hell happened, not feeling bad at all. So when you are truly aware of the psychological impact of your victim for each drop you take. So you can choose a number of options on the list below there, up to your humanity +1. Only the options that you're chosen are true.
Yeah, so I have humanity 2, so I choose 3 options. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was up to your status, not up to your humanity.
No, it's up to humanity.
Okay, I of course stop feeding when I want to, because that's kind of what we agreed upon. Also, okay, I think I'm choosing the first 3. I resist the temptation to terrorize my prey and hurt them for sport or pleasure, and I manipulate their memories so they don't remember me in their nightmares. But I don't close their wounds.
Yeah. Cool. How do you feel as you feel the exhilarating sensation of feeding?
Well, I'm completely full, so I feel kind of vitalized, but also a bit just like you've had too much to eat at the restaurant, kind of lazy, and also kind of well, I feel as though it wasn't a good idea to have Jacobus hand me the prey like this, because now he may have something on me, and
Yeah, you never know what he thinks. And what about you, Jacobus? Which options do you choose?
Okay, well, I'm trying to find my stupid moves. All right, so what are my options?
You stop feeding when you want to. You resist temptation to terrorize your prey. You manipulate your prey's memories so they don't remember you in their nightmare. And you close the wounds you left on the prey's body, concealing their tell signs of your predation. And you can choose up to humanity +1 options.
So,
which is also 3. Right?
Yeah.
Choose 3.
I mean, the moves are also in Roll20.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
There's a handout there.
Okay, let me look at it, because that seemed like a lot to remember. Where in Roll20 is that?
It's under the character sheet. There's a handouts thing, basic moves. If you push it, you should get up.
Oh, maybe I just haven't looked far enough down in my character sheet.
Not in your character sheet. They're under the character sheets in the handout section. Like in the same section where they are, that you see the characters, all the characters, and then there's the other thing that's called handouts, and you push it. There's
actually, I don't see another thing called handouts.
I don't see those either.
What? Okay, that's my fault then. Just a second.
Sorry about that.
No, that's my fault. Now you can see them.
Oh, now it's there.
They were hidden all along. I didn't discover until the third session.
Wow. Yeah, no, this is really great.
Wow.
A little challenging to see. Oh wait, if I hit on that, maybe I can.
Yeah, if you push the thing, you get them in bigger size.
Is it? It's all right. So this is still part of Hunter. This is feed.
Yeah, feed.
Actually, I can only, if when I change the size, it doesn't resize them, so it still is blurry. But maybe I can still.
Okay, let me just give me a second. I'll find it. It's not so.
If you click on it, it should zoom in. Then it's not blurry.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah,
it's just a little magnifying.
It's zooming in like it's just a bitmap, as opposed to the characters aren't zooming in. Well, I think I'm just going to take everything except what happens. I stop feeding when I want to. So then, what happens? What happens if I don't pick that option?
You drain them.
I completely drain them. Okay, so I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna leave marks.
Yeah.
And take the other 3.
Cool. So yeah, I think he also like falls together like in a with this like this big groan, and you feel also full. You're going and yeah, what are you doing? You're going out of the gates, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think you managed. I mean, there's not a lot of guards actually, and I think you get out without problem. And I think as you.
Okay, so because he's at a well, you said, right?
Yes, they were drinking water.
I was originally picturing like I was on like kind of on top of the walls, and I would just jump off the wall.
I mean, there's no problem for you to get out if you wanted to. And yeah, I think you do. And I think we cut over to our seer. What are you up to?
That's a good question. Is it nighttime?
Yes. Yes.
I think I want to try to flaunt, like use my feminine wails. But I'm not sure what to do it for?
I mean, you could always use it in the convincing of peoples to work. I mean, it's not very late at night.
Okay. Sure.
Who would you go to approach to convince the workers to do this? The slaves, pretty much. I mean, I'm sure you know someone. They've
Right.
probably come to you for advice. I mean, you're known in the mortal society, I think, a little bit, especially for the superstitious people. Which this
Are you
leader is
saying like
definitely
someone we've already introduced?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure you know the leader. Like there's like this. Let's see. There is definitely like this. Like a leader of the slaves. He's not really like a formal leader, but definitely like someone, the one that people listens to. And you know him because you have read his faith. I think he was
Okay.
also in the vision you had about this. What role did he play in that vision?
Yeah, I think he was just like a leader person, right? Like sort of like an unofficial what's it called? Like worker group. You know, like a bunch of them got together and he's like, we're gonna do this. So I'm trying to like head that off and consult with him to do something else instead.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find a good name for him. I think his name is. Let's see. Hervik.
All right.
He usually like he usually spends. I mean, they have like this area where they live like a camp, and they usually hang out and drink there if they have some access to some alcohol. And I think like they've been working a lot lately, so I think they've been given some wine to drink to strengthen their morale. And I think you find him at like it's probably like around a big like it's like this small like this big fire where they are cooking the food over like with like a cauldron. It's probably like this just like stew made of not a lot of ingredients. Not of a delicious meal, but yeah, it's food. So and with some wine, I think the atmosphere there is. I mean, it's tense. I think there's people are tired and nervous about there's an army coming. Slaves are or well not everyone who is not doesn't have a personal guard is really suspect to not survive when you when city gets sacked. So it's not the best mood. I think you find Herwig in the middle of an argument with someone when you come in front of all the people. I think he's there's someone talking about that they should rise up against the nobles to get protection. We're just out here for slaughter, but that's not our way. We should rebel and join the Wiscots, our people.
Holik. I know the nobles don't usually listen to pariahs like us, but I actually talked to one on your behalf. They are working on defending the city, but they need help. And I think I'll like offer some like nuts that I've gathered, right? So they have a little more food, like as a little peace treaty. That they need to build this wall as quick as possible, and make it something that we can be proud of, you know, as a city.
Yeah, and I think you hear like the crowd start to like you definitely feel like it being a little hostile to you, like suggesting that they work more as like a solution to the problem. But definitely like this is definitely like an opportunity for you to captivate move. I think.
All right.
When you captivate your prey with you mesmerize them with your honey-eyed words or sensuous moves. So honey-eyed words in this case probably. So pretty much, yeah, they fall for you and want so desperately to please you. The higher your humanity, the deeper their fascination. Tell the prey what you want from them, which you have done. The GM chooses a number of options below equal to your humanity plus 1. What is your humanity?
Let me look. I think it was like second from the top.
How many humanity do you have?
2.
So I choose 3 options. I think I choose your prey does it faithfully, your prey exceeds your expectations, and your prey is still drawn to you. But they don't do it eagerly. I think Herdwig is probably he says you have seen the fate, so you must know what we should do to spare our lives. And I think you hear like some of the people like I think it's like pretty like boisterous like cheering, and even though you definitely see like it's not like everyone is not so happy, and I think like even that they serve out food and shortly after they start working. Even if it's in nighttime. So yeah, cool. So back to I think we cut back to our friends outside the gate. What are you up to?
Okay, I was going to talk because I don't. I'm kind of leading this, but I don't want to. I want Aurelia to get screen time here. So, should I just kind of narrate what I plan to do, or what?
Yeah, you can do that, and we can just like I can just narrate a short vignette, and we can do the moves that is needed.
Okay. Well, undercover. So they're a ways away. So we're going to have to use our. I think we may have to flaunt some of our vampire skills to get to the camp. Get to the camp very, very quickly and kind of sneak past the outer guard circle.
Yeah, for sure. You do definitely need to do that to get there quickly without problems. So how does that look? You each spend 1 blood to do that. How does that look for each of you?
I guess I try to move behind some kind of shrubbery so people don't see me start to move, because moving that quickly is kind of unnatural.
I mean, you are a natural.
Yeah, but humans will suspect.
Oh yeah, so you just like hide away so they don't see you start moving in this enormous speed.
Yes, and from there I'm just running very quickly. Is so quickly, in fact, that it's too fast for human eyes to see.
Cool. What about you, Jacobus?
Um, yeah. No. I mean, these are the people who brought us, belief in, talking sphinxes and silly magic and shit like this. I don't really care what they believe or not. But yes, I move. I look like a quickly passing shadow in the dark night. And remember, there's no streetlights. Okay, so like everything is like, unless there's a moon, it's just so dark. And so if I get near a campfire, you just see a darker darkness, flitting by really quickly. But we're going several leagues in probably an hour or something like that. So
Yeah.
however long a league is.
Yeah. Very fast. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you get unseen by their defenses, and you're in the camp. I'm gonna start with Jacobus. What do you do? You're hunting for these people, right?
Right. So I already have this. I already have this military knowledge. How the camp is set up. So I don't know exactly how it's going to look. So the way I do is I go to I go to where I know the kind of the heads will be, the head of this particular army, and I work my way out. Sort of okay, so that might even be Alaric's tent here. Here's the ones that will command, and then here's the ones that will command an entire legion, and here's where the centurions are. Here's where the centurions are. Here's a flag. Here's a flag. Here's a flag. Those are for each of the legions. And I kind of I work my way down to sort of the in the what would we call it, the kind of the officers area, the least assuming tent, or the next least assuming tents, the ones that look officers, but not the very crappiest, but the next to crappiest.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it looks, so you definitely find what you want. I think because you want to. I think we just let's just do a hunt here. I think maybe because that's what you're going to do, right? You're going to.
My plan is to hunt two of these and turn them into blood slaves.
So our deal was actually I would distract some of them, right?
Yes, and I'm still hoping that you'll do that.
Is there some kind of a help or hinder move? I don't see any. So
I mean, I'll definitely let you offer a blood to make another option available for Jacobus.
Well,
how do you distract? How do you keep out watch, or what do you do? I mean, there's still patrols in this. I think there's definitely still patrols and stuff in this.
How conspicuous would two people who aren't supposed to be there? I mean,
pretty conspicuous, because it's not you're not dressed as soldiers.
Not really. So, is there some kind of side cams in the women who wash and cook for these soldiers?
There definitely is like a lot more people traveling with the army than the soldiers. So there's like, but they are more like in the back.
I see.
Probably.
So I think I probably put on some kind of cloak to cover up my colorful clothes, and I'm going into the center of the place where, I guess not actually the center of the whole thing, but somewhere where other people are, and shout, "Oh, what's a good child's name? How about Camilla? Where are you? Help! I lost my daughter.
Cool.
She's just 7."
Yeah, I definitely think you hear like groaning in the tents, and I think probably like you hear moving of guards coming towards your position. And yeah, meanwhile, Jacobus, you're hunting with an extra blood. So you can choose. I mean, I guess that you have one in status, I guess. So that means you have 2 options because you're not on your hunting round.
Oh, 2 options on the hunt. Yeah, okay. Let me just. Now I have my move. Now I have my basic move pages up. So
So yeah, your option is to stalk your victim quickly, to stifle your victim's screams to avoid spooking the prey. You gently subdue your victim, or you definitely away the prying eyes of your fellow predators.
all right. So I look in the tent, and I look until I find a tent where of the appropriate variety, where the person is alone and asleep,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Which options do you choose?
Yeah. So I stifle and subdue.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I mean, you do it.
I don't think there are any other predators around, but hey, what do I know?
Well. Okay, so yeah, you stifle and subdue. It takes a little while,
Sure.
and I think as you, I mean, you do it. You can make them. How does that blood slave thing? That's a move, right?
Yes. So what happens is, let's see. This is I have to feed blood to my prey. So presumably I'd have to drain at least one from them.
Yeah, and give it your blood.
Right, and then give them some blood back to make the enslavement.
So you just do that. Okay. I think you see this. There's this. I think we see you do it with one, and then in the second tent, I think you see this. I mean, it's a pretty like big man. He has long dark hair and like a big bushy beard, and he like you when you give him the blood, he opens his. I think you just open his mouth and he opens his eyes, and he like looks up at you. What do you do?
Wait, so have I fed off him already?
Yeah, and given him the blood.
And he opens the way I'm looking at giving him the blood is that, I mean, kind of classic TV style, right? So he's kind of he's woozy from my having fed off him, and I chew open my radial artery and drip some blood into his mouth.
Yeah, as you do that, he opens his eyes. What do you say to him?
And I say, You are mine. You are mine now, my precious.
Yeah, and I think he just like,
await my orders.
what do you want me to do, Commander?
Do what you were until I tell you otherwise. Do what you were told by your superiors.
Yeah, and I think when you come out of the tent, I think you see.
This is Menaeus.
Hmm?
Did you give them a name?
I didn't. You can give them a name if you wanted to.
Okay, Menaeus, Maneus.
Yeah, okay. And I think as you come out of the tent, you see this man standing in the opening with he has he's definitely like he's quite a big man. He has chainmail and like a warrior's attire. And I think when you go out of the tent, he says, "I wondered when some of you would arrive."
And I immediately know this is a vampire, right?
Yes. What do you do? I think let's actually cut over to.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, to Spuria. I think you see the you have joined the slaves going to the wall and starting construction, and you can see them making progress. What do you do?
I think I'll try to do it tactically, like maybe I'll go consult with the generals to figure out like where we need them all the most, right? So I don't just
I
make a wall.
I think all that stuff, like all that logistic stuff, it's fine. That happens.
Okay.
I think it's not really that interesting to see it on screen. So it's gonna. Right. This thing is going to succeed because you did the thing. Now I guess the next interesting thing that could maybe happen is to what do you do with that, because now you did something that might give you some leverage.
So maybe go back to Claudia. Or like,
yeah, I think actually if that's what you wanted to happen, I think maybe she shows up while you stand and like instruct. I think maybe even some of the military people, like where they would want the reinforcements and stuff. You stand and like talk to them, and maybe and I think she like just suddenly she's when the it's probably like pretty like high ranking officer like walks away. She stands next to you like out of nothing.
This is just the most normal thing.
Yeah, of course, vampire things, and she's just like, well, that was quick.
That's what we need. Is some quick construction around here. The city hasn't been rejuvenated in a long time. You know, we're just trying to go downhill.
I like your resourcefulness. I'm most of the others are either hedging their bets or running around trying to figure out how to kill an entire army. But you want to build something to make people believe in something. I don't know. It's different. I like that. I think I have a place for you at the table, so to speak.
Oh, that's definitely something new.
Yeah, I'll talk to Augustus about finding your hunting ground. Let's just find out who messes up enough to lose theirs.
All right. right. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, and I think we cut back there. Yeah, and I think you in Camilla Screaming Land, there is guards approaching. And from all, I think I don't know how many people you expected to show up, but you like screamed in a army camp of 20,000 people. So I think like it's a pretty short while until there's like a lot of people here.
Oh, well, that's well. She was just over there, and I think I see her. I think she's behind the tent over there. If you, thank you for your kind attention, but I think I'm sorry. I already found her. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, I think you hear like people look a little bit confused and tired, and I think you see like this one guard who's like, she's dressed like a Roman, and I think like you are take her to we have to take her to the commander. Alric's not going to be happy about this.
Okay, I'm letting myself be taken.
Okay, yeah.
That's exactly where I'm
Well, this
planning.
could work for your other agenda.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're standing face to face with the vampire, and yeah, what do you do?
I don't know if there's like a worldwide kind of etiquette for vampires, or
I mean, no.
um,
Maybe a Roman kind of. Maybe it is like a Roman kind of doing, but it's not like definitely not universal. I mean, you don't. This person is not Roman. Maybe they know this kind of salute that you do.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm here I'm here not to feast, but just to make sure that order is maintained out here. We have a lot of humans in our hunting grounds that we wish to protect and not scatter.
I think he almost looks a little angry at that. He doesn't have a very animated face, but you definitely see like the dark in his eyes. You should have thought about that before you invaded our lands and raped our women and killed our men. Or those who you didn't take, you brought as slaves to Rome. And I think he like sheathes his sword and jumps at you.
Oh, he wants to fight?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Let's. I say. I don't know that I can put you down. I don't know that I can put you down quietly. Let's go a little ways away from the camp.
Oh no, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. All right. All right. Well, it's your relationships, buddy.
Yeah, cool. So when you fight another predator, it's an ugly and desperate struggle for life and death. All warring,
as I recall.
Yeah, so all warring predators spat as much blood as they dare, in secret, then in unison. All predators reveal and spend the blood they bet. So we can start with the bet. I'm gonna So let's see. Just a second. I'll just have to figure out. I wrote down in my prep notes how much blood this Elric has.
Alaric. Is this Alaric?
Yes.
Oh my God! Really? Really? Is there any way that I know that? Like insignia.
I mean, he definitely looks like a high-ranking commander.
Huh.
And you might have heard of. Yeah, I mean,
together, he's clearly. If I can go back in the conversation, I want to acknowledge that he's been that he has had a great skill as a commander and success on the field. One soldier to another.
Yeah, let's make that like a maybe that's like in the exchanges as you realize who this probably is.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Cool. So we bet. Let's see.
Okay. Interesting.
So whenever you're ready, we're counting down from 3.
Okay. So let me make sure the camera's back on. I'm ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
I need to write this backwards. That's a 5.
Oh well, he bet a 12.
Okay.
He's angry.
Right. I was thinking he couldn't be much more than callous because he seems to really care about these humans.
Oh. I don't. He did until you slaughtered his his family and stuff. I think. Yeah. We're finishing up now. I think this is a perfect place to.
All right, so we'll do this fight and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I call his wager then, or
no? This is for the fight. It's you bet once. So the one who spent the most blood decides the fate, life or death, of each predator involved in the conflict. That's the medal.
Okay. All right. Well, he bet 12. There's no. You know what? There's no way that I could have. I mean, I didn't even have 12 blood, so.
Yeah, I think.
I'm not supposed to tell people that, but anyway, I did.
Well, I mean, I think he. Yeah, I think actually that I think he strikes you down in anger, and I think as the army approaches Rome, they do so with I think like outside the gates as they reach Rome by nightfall, they throw your ashes in front of the gate.
Well, we Romans were definitely overconfident.
Yeah, and I think I mean as for the city, they actually seeing the big big like built on walls. I think they negotiate for a fee instead of sacking the village, and also for freeing the slaves. And in that way, the city prevails. And with that, we go into we're going to start the next session with a downtime. I think this is a good way to like as the I think probably like Augustus comes out with like the big wagon of gold to exchange together with like the slaves. You see, and I think you probably see in the cutscene Spuria standing behind with Claudia. I think Claudia probably like holds you on the shoulder and says, "Well, now you'll reap the fruits of your labor, dear Cirrus."
Oh, I just hope they're gonna free me too. I'm still in the hands of the visitors, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think how did you convince Ulrich that that Augustus had enough gold to pay him off?
Well, I don't know really much about Augustus actually. I just
I mean, we don't know either. You can just invent it.
Yeah. I guess I'm telling him that he's kind of the most important person in our circle, and he is bound to have enough money to pay off.
Yeah, and I think because of that, he calls out Augustus with when coming to Rome, and this is how the agreement is made.
Yeah, I guess I point out Augustus to him.
Cool.
Right.
Cool, and that's session. So I'm sorry for killing you, Jim, but I figured it's your last session, so it wouldn't hurt too much.
Yeah, that's fine, and it's much more interesting. I mean, it's interesting to be able to continue to do stuff, but it's also interesting to go big.
Yeah, yeah, I like that that we did manage to get like a spectacular-ish ending on this area as well, and I actually managed to finish it, even though it was very.
I mean, you kicked my ass with a historical important my ass was kicked by an important historical figure who was a military genius. So, it's like getting taken out by Napoleon or something.
I'm glad you felt it was a good way to go. Cool. It was nice having you in my sessions, Jim. I think maybe you're on. I don't expect the waitlist to drop out next time, since all of the players have previously been in the game. But either way, I enjoyed playing with you. I hope.
It was fun. I've actually never played sort of a vampire-y game before, nor an evil character.
Oh, actually, you might be in the last one as well, because it's the one who. Well, there's been changes. Well, everything changes all the time in this game. I've had people go in and out of the waitlist forever, but we'll see.
So maybe he isn't that dead.
Well, or make another character.
We'll see. Yeah. But anyway, if you have any feedback you want to give about, except me not knowing all the rules all the time, because goddamn, this game has been giving me some confusion. But
it's a bit dense.
Yeah, it is. Then feel free to message me on Slack or Hangouts, and I'll definitely take it into consideration for future games.
Sure, and do you want to do like Roses and Thorns? Or...
If you want, yeah, sure. If you want to, then we can do that.
Well, I'd say just kind of on the very basic level, we were the stars and the movers, and centered. Even though we were often not the most literally powerful, which is kind of challenging when you're not you're often not the most powerful entity in a scene. Unless you're doing one of these kind of we have our whole party fighting some boss or something like that. So I appreciate I appreciate that you seemed very very willing to make what we were doing, or even might be doing, because we vaguely pointed in that direction, able to happen. So I appreciate that.
Cool, thanks. You have any improvements you want to something you want to see more of?
Um, hmm, um, well, I don't have a lot to compare to. It was there's this big NPC world that is probably kind of inherent to doing this vampire clan kind of role playing,
Mm-hmm.
or I could imagine that it would be, and it's difficult to. I don't feel like I grappled with that. I don't feel like I completely in that world. I mean, I think if you play for a lot longer, you establish that. But I was always looking at the map and trying to figure out the basics of my relationship with these different NPCs when I was trying to choose to do something or another with them. And I'm not sure what you could do with that other than maybe have a small circle of NPCs when you start out, and then have it expand or something once
Yeah.
people have figured out who everyone is. Because like my rival Letitia or something like this.
Never saw
Yeah,
her.
and I even had like a blackmail thing on her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, actually, my blackmail move doesn't actually work with her because it won't make me a patrician. So there's no point in my even making that move. Because you really you could my it's a special it's my character class's my playbook status move lets me bring down a patrician with a secret, but I didn't realize that. So when I decided who to get a secret on in our downtime moves, I picked another plebeian because I was rivals with her, and so having a secret on her didn't really help me any unless she had something I wanted, but we hadn't established anything that I'd wanted from her. So
Yeah.
I think that's inherent and might be inherent in this kind of setting.
Yeah.
I think so a little too, and I think also this game actually requires a lot of system mastery. Because, and I think that's also a part of it, because there's definitely like this thing with leverage here, that it's important to understand what tools you have to engage these NPCs who have to get leverage over them and stuff, which is also, even for me after running the 3 sessions, is a little hard to understand. But yeah, definitely I'm definitely agreeing with that feedback.
Is this the first time you've run this?
Yes. Yes, clearly it was different. But yeah, yeah. Tina, do you have any?
Yeah. I'm still trying to get my head around all the moves and especially my special moves with my character. So, and I always kind of felt like since we had to make up all this NPC relationship stuff, that I had a bit of trouble coming up with the motivations for my character. But that's that's a problem I have a lot. But I found it very helpful that you made some suggestions and what we could do, and that was really good. I'm not sure. I think the game could have some more support for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't use some kind of playset like the one we're using, right?
Yeah. As a GM, it's a pretty rough game to run, actually, because there's so many things you need to think about before running it. Like, if I in my ideal world, I would definitely have prepped more, even if I did a lot more prep than I usually do. Because to understand all the NPCs and the relationship they have in between them, and there's so many things going on.
Right. Normally you kind of have that much sort of relationship building just between, the player characters and maybe one or two NPCs at most. I mean, here's this whole like rogue gallery.
Yeah. Yeah, and they all have a relationship with each other as well. And we did the downtime. There's the downtime action. We haven't done that with you yet, Tina, but we'll do it in the start of next session. That they all also do downtime actions against each other, and it's like my brain is just like, what?
Okay.
Oh my gosh! So you must have spent all of last week doing that.
So this is like Blades in the Dark crossed with some urban shadows and everything all at once, right?
Yeah. So, but it's also but yeah. I mean, it's I still like a lot of things about the game, but it's just It's I also would, if I run it again, I definitely use 4 hours instead of 3, so I have some more time to actually help you guys to get into things, because I need to like push it a little bit to get like the narrative going get it to a satisfying end in the 3 hours as well.
Yeah, I'm just somewhat. I haven't done many Gauntlet hangouts, but I'm surprised at how many of these slots are only 3 hours long. I'm used to 4 hour con slots.
Yeah, for me, usually 3 hours is because I have more trouble with keeping my energy for 4 hours online play. It's a little tiring. I think it's more intense for me, at least, especially when I don't know. That's my personal preference, at least.
Yeah, I understand that all the juggling of tabs and stuff it's a bit more than just sitting at the table with your papers.
Yeah, it is. But thanks a lot for playing with me, and I'll see you next week, right, Tina?
Yes.
And maybe
Thanks
even
for
we'll see.
running.
No worries. It was nice playing with you again, and maybe you show up again, Jim, as you've done from the waitlist in every session.
Yeah, well, maybe we could figure out some kind of reincarnation. It's like maybe like my toe didn't get burned, and somehow
Yeah.
from my toe or something like that. I have a question for you though, just about again on the system. One of the things they talk about it in the system, but I don't entirely get it. I haven't gotten it through the mechanics. Is that there's this pull to become monstrous, and we're fighting back about that, trying to both gain power but retain our humanity. And did you see? I don't really feel that in this game. Do you?
I mean, mechanically, it does so by saying that if you're monstrous, you get more blood to do things with, which is, for example, in this instance, would have meant that you can actually win the fight.
Right, yeah.
So there's definitely that. But yeah, I'm not sure either if that's really something that's very prevalent in the game, as much as it says it is. But well, I don't know.
So again, it's my thorns or questions would be system issues.
Yeah.
About this, but it's been great to fun to play with you a little bit, Tina, and fun to play with the other Jim. I was just in another game with him actually, and get to know. And Asher and Paul, who I think I know from somewhere, but I'm not sure where.
I mean, he's from England, so I don't know.
I mean, some kind of online thing, but
yeah, maybe. Yeah. Cool, but I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna jump to sleep. I'm super tired, so.
Okay.
I'm sorry for keeping you up. Thanks
no worries.
We'll see you around. Either you're going to Gauntlet Con?
Yes, I am playing in all the games. No GMing for me.
Okay, good. Well, have a vacation.
Me too.
Have a treat.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.